Like, my son, Toby, is the kind of kid who lives mostly in his own head. He's on the spectrum, brilliant with a soldering iron, but talking to people, that's like climbing Everest for him. When he asked to join the local junior maker club, I was over the moon. I thought, finally, he's finding his tribe. The club was run by a guy named Greg. Greg was one of those community pillar types, always organized, always smiling. He had a strict rule about focused creativity. No parents were allowed in the workshop because he claimed our presence stifled the kids' independence. Greg took a special interest in Toby. He called him a prodigy. I was proud. God, I was so stupidly proud. But then, things shifted. Toby stopped showing me his projects. He'd come home and instead of rambling about circuit boards, he'd go straight to his room and lock the door. He started flinching, just a tiny bit, whenever I'd try to give him a high five. I asked him if Greg was being too hard on him. Toby wouldn't look at me. He just whispered, "He says I'm special, and special things have to stay secret." I went to the club board. I told them something felt wrong. The head of the league, a guy who'd known Greg for 20 years, basically laughed in my face. He told me I was being a helicopter parent, and that I shouldn't ruin a good man's reputation over vague vibes. He actually handed me a pamphlet on raising resilient boys. I didn't argue. I went home and I took Toby's favorite tablet, the one he always kept in his gear bag. I modified the casing, tucked a tiny high-definition camera inside the charging port. The next day, I sat in my truck 3 blocks away, watching the live feed on my phone. I saw it. I saw Greg mentoring my son. He wasn't teaching him electronics. He was leaning over him, his hands where they never should have been, whispering in Toby's ear, while my boy sat there frozen, eyes wide with pure terror. I didn't call the cops first. I drove that truck through the front gate of the club. I walked into that workshop like a man possessed. Greg tried to give me his nice guy smile, but I didn't let him finish his sentence. I put him through a drywall partition before he could even blink. When the other parents rushed in, they saw Greg on the floor, and they saw me holding my phone out. I played that video on a loop. The silence in that room, it was deafening. Greg didn't just lose his job. He lost his teeth, and eventually his freedom. And Toby, he's building again. But this time, the workshop door stays wide open.